the elephant in the room that continues to be part of the season. It's there, and there's no avoiding it now, is Alec Bohm. Hugh, last night Alec Bohm, 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts last night. I also thought he looked his worst in the field last night. I'm starting to wonder if he's taken out the frustrations at the plate back into the field, which you never want to see. He is hitting so far this season 178, 10 strikeouts to just 1 walk. They've got an Alec Bohm problem. We talked about this a couple days ago, but now we've reached the point where I don't think they can ignore this anymore. And I'll come around and tell you, for tonight for me, Castellanos, who's been way better than Bohm so far this year, has to be in the cleanup spot. I'm dropping Bohm in the lineup immediately. They can't let him hit cleanup anymore because I was shocked that the pitcher I know he was a lefty. I was shocked they pitched to Harper because if I'm the opponent right now, I'm not throwing anything to Bryce Harper when Bohm is behind him. Or the same thing when it comes to Schwarber, depending on the lineup that day. Whatever guy, it's Schwarber or Harper around him in the lineup. I'm not pitching to I'm not pitching to those guys. I'm pitching to Bohm. I would drop him in the order. Hugh, what's your thought right now on Bohm? He looks like he's wearing all these emotions, and what do you do with him? Because it's not a game or two now. We are 10 full games in, and he doesn't look like the guy he usually is. He looks way below that guy.
Allow me to long talk for a minute because I think it's warranted because I understand where you're coming from. Everything that you're saying, I agree with to a certain extent. But here's the one caveat, Joe. You won yesterday. And I feel like to make those drastic changes after you win is probably unwarranted. Now, you want better play from him. There's no question about that. You want that. But I think that you're trying to salvage what you can from this player because I still feel like even though there was the rumors that they were trying to trade him and everything, he's still here. That's a fact. He's still here. And you don't want him to get any further in his head than he already is. So I feel like this. I understand exactly where you're coming from, and normally I would be on board with that if the circumstances were that they won. So I'm going to say stand pat on this.
So you're just going to be a do-nothing Douglas.
Well, right. See how you turned it into do-nothing? I thought I did a great job of setting that up because to me it makes no sense to do it right now. Now, as we progress through this, and the fact that we're going to St. Louis next, right?
Right. Tonight in Atlanta, then St. Louis this weekend.
Yeah, and hopefully he can go down there and he can have a bounce back.
Well, he's from that area. Family usually goes to those games, St. Louis. Maybe it's a comfortable spot for him.
When Taiwan Mama came to the game, he showed out for her. So hopefully,
maybe we need Mom.
You can't do it the week before he go home.
Well, yeah, but I also have to put the team over Bohm here. Right? So to me, there's 3 options: 215-592-9494 for your reaction to the win. Huge homer by Turner. Huge homer by Harper. Alvarado closed it down after the rest of the bullpen shaky as well. But the Bohm situation, where do you come down? To me, there's 3 options. They could do nothing, right? They could just keep riding it, and because at some point, to your thought, Hugh, he's a 275 career hitter.
Yeah.
Eventually, though, he'll.
What was the saying? You hit what's on the back of your baseball card or whatever. Eventually,
you would think he'll rebound. Okay, so that's option 1. Option 2 is what I want to do, which is drop him in the lineup tonight. I want to take some pressure off him because I do think there's pressure hitting 3rd or 4th every day. Drop him, wherever 8, 7, 8, 9, somewhere towards the bottom of the order. Probably 7 or 8. 9 feels like it's a marsh spot. But put him towards the bottom of the order and get Castellanos to hit well this year. I think Castellanos has done a good job, and I trust him way more to get a big double and a big spot or a home run than Bohm right now. So put Castellanos in the middle of the order. I drop Bohm. Or there's option 3, which is just bench him and put Sosa in because Sosa right now is giving you better at-bats. The only thing with that, Hugh, I'm starting to wonder if they're going to lose him fully mentally. Like the offseason happened. He knows they tried to trade him early this season. You spoke about this, that the players are very vocal how much they love Sosa.
I think that's the biggest thing,
tonight,
Joe.
I wonder if you're just going to lose him totally.
That's the thing. And I understand where people are coming from because for a lot of fans, we talk about money when it comes to players and what you should get over. I got to tell you, it's not as easy as it sounds. And we're dealing in a day and age where I was telling a story this morning about how players are different. Number one, they make more money. And especially nowadays, they're more in tune to their psychological, makeup more than any time that I could ever remember, which is a good thing. So you have to figure out not only how to get the best out of the players that you have, but also have them in a great mental space. That's the tough thing about it. And I think that, and all of this to me started when his teammates started praising Sosa. that's when it felt like it started to get worse and worse for him as far as his attitude.
It's snowballing.
And last night was the first time, because I've seen it on his face, but he really wore his frustration on his face last night.
He did, down the first baseline after making an out. Last at-bat when he struck out and he looked like he started to argue with the ump. That's typically unlike Alec Bohm.
Yeah.
So a couple days ago I mentioned Bohm's body language. It drives me crazy. It's Carson Wentz-esque. There's another thing when it comes to the mental. And when I say lose him, Ben Simmons is a villain here now, right? But Ben Simmons at one point was a good player. He wasn't great. He was flawed. But then they lost him. Like the Sixers lost Ben Simmons. He checked out mentally, and I think we're on the verge of Bohm checking out mentally. They gotta hone in on this, otherwise they're gonna lose this player. He's fragile mentally, and right now it feels like he is totally in his own head. 215-592-9494. What do you do with Alec Bohm? All right, so Hugh wants to just leave him alone, let him be. I'm dropping him. Yeah, do not the Douglas over here. I'm dropping him in the order tonight. He can't hit cleanup for me anymore. There's just no way he's a cleanup hitter right now on a team that's trying to do anything seriously. Kyle, what are you doing tonight with Alec Bohm as he goes 0 for 5 last night, and it's just a terrible start to his season?
Yeah, dropping him in the order is not enough. Doing nothing is absolutely not enough. I can't even believe this guy right now. We have an alarming situation going on, and it needs to be handled with the utmost urgency. Everything that Topper's done, the organization's done, the team has done this season has showed me that they are operating with an enhanced sense of urgency. Alec Bohm is the only one that hasn't been adhering to that. And I think the biggest message that they can send to him and the team that they're taking all of this in every game and every moment very seriously is by putting his ass on the bench. If they lose him, then guess what? You found out that you don't have a guy that you can go to war with come October. And maybe that means that that accelerates the timeline of what you do with him. If you want to trade him at the trade deadline and get something that can actually help this team go win a championship, then fine. I want to find out. The lever I'm pulling is I want to find out really what this guy's made of. Put his back all the way against the wall. Put some splinters in his ass and see how he responds to that. I'm benching Alec Bohm because I'm sick of the nonsense.
That was strong.
I think you get one of two things that happen. He responds to it in a productive way. He comes back, realizes, okay, after all the trade rumors this offseason and now this, that it's really time for me to turn this thing around. Or, like I said, they lose him, and then you know what you have. The time to find out for me is now. I'm done waiting. I know it's early, but I want them to treat this with a sense of urgency.
What's interesting is they already tried something like this, right? Because they sat him on Sunday and Sosa played. What's interesting is Topper put him right back into the middle of the order. Like, Rob, wake up. He can't. If you keep hitting him in the middle of the order, you're screwing your team. Like, right now, he's giving you 0. I mean, last night, 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Hugh, that's why I think it's all in his head now because, like, Bohm's not great. He's pretty good, but he doesn't strike out much. This is unlike him. He looks like he's fried mentally, not physically, mentally. That's why people call and they say, well, he had 97 RBIs last year. I don't care about that. He doesn't look like that guy right now.
No, he doesn't. But you also see, here's the thing in this situation that's happening. Yes, they did try to trade him last year.
Publicly.
I
mean,
they
didn't deny it at all.
And they came back and they amended that. I'm thinking back on some of the things that I've heard him say and where I feel like this spiral has started. At the beginning of the season, he talked about how he was grateful about being in this situation because he knows that a lot of guys would have gotten traded. And he felt that, and he felt grateful for that. And he started out pretty good. I think that what he's doing is looking at Sosa. He's looking at somebody else's grass, and it's starting to wear on him a little bit. And not only that, he's listening to what the accolades and the praises that all his other teammates are giving to somebody else.
Well, the guy that's playing in place of him.
Yes,
Sosa.
and for a lot of folks, I understand people talking about the money. It's not about that. It's about being accepted and know that whatever you're going through, somebody has your back. And right now, he's probably not feeling that way. He's probably not, because it feels like with all of that stuff that has transpired over the last couple of weeks, that's where it started, when all of that started happening. When you start having Zach Wheeler giving ringing endorsements to Sosa and things like that, that's when it feels like, to me, that his attitude started to get progressively worse.
Yeah, it's not good right now. 215-592-9494. Your reaction to the win last night, huge home run by Turner, huge home run by Harper, Hugh's guy, Taijuan Walker, that's a good job. I know it's not 6 innings or 7 innings, but I'll take 4 2/3 scoreless against the Braves. Good job by Taijuan last night. Phillies get a nice win, but the Bohm situation, what should they do tonight? I would drop him in the order. Hit him 8th, put Castellanos in the 4-hole. I cannot have this guy hitting cleanup. He wants to leave it alone, let him ride it out. Do nothing, Douglas, and Kyle wants him to have some splinters in his ass.